Hey there, in this video I'm going to explain to you about implementing a food app UI in Flutter. So as usual I have the constants.dart and the resources I'll be using. I'll also provide the link to the GitHub repository in the description. Inside the main.dart file, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the default font to Poppins. Now as the bottom navigation bar, I'm going to add a custom widget called custom bar. So the custom bar is going to be a stateful widget and it is going to return a bottom navigation bar whose type is going to be a fixed bottom navigation bar, and the selected color is going to be orange and unselected color is going to be gray. We are going to show the unselected labels as well, so its value will be true. So it has a property called item, which takes in a list of bottom navigation bar items. The first item on the list is going to be a bottom navigation bar item titled home, and who has an icon of icon widget type whose icon data value is icons.home. So we are now going to copy the first item and just paste it 3 more times. The next time it is going to be offers, then my orders, and finally profile. Next we are going to create an index variable whose default value is going to be 0, and we are going to set this as the current index property of our bottom navigation bar. And inside the onTab function we are going to call setState and set our current index as the index which is being pressed. So if I hit run, we have our bottom bar working. The next thing we are going to do is, instead of the container, it is going to be a column, and the first child of the column is again going to be a column which is wrapped by a padding widget. So we are going to set the padding of 20 on all sides. The first child of the column is going to be a row, and the first child of this row in turn is going to be a widget called rich text. So the rich text takes in a property called text whose value is going to be text span. The text span has a property called children where each child is an inline span, and the first is going to be text span whose text is going to be find your best \n, and the style is going to be a predefined style called k gray small, and we are just going to copy this and paste it again. This time the text is going to say nutrition meal, and the style is going to be k black medium. So if I hit save, the next child of our row is going to be an image dot asset widget whose path is going to be images/profile.jpg, and the width is going to be 50 and height is going to be 50 as well. So we are going to wrap it with a widget called clipRect, and it has a property called border radius which is going to have a value of 15 on all sides. Now inside the row, the main axis alignment is going to be space between. So we can wrap our first row, and inside this inner column the second child is going to be a container whose child is going to be a row. The first child of the row is going to be an expanded widget whose child is going to be a text field. The decoration property is going to have a value input decoration, and the hint text is going to be search foods, and the hint style is going to be k gray small. The border is going to be input border dot none, and content padding is going to give a padding on all sides of 10. Outside the expanded widget, the next widget is going to be an icon widget with an icon data icons dot search, whose color is gray and whose size is 30. So next we can provide a decoration to our container of type box decoration. The border radius is going to be 10 on all sides, and the color is going to be a lighter shade of gray. Now we can provide a margin on the top and bottom. The top margin is going to be 20 and the bottom margin is again going to be 20. So we can hide that, and the next child is going to be a row. So the first child of the row is going to be a column whose first child in turn is going to be a container. The container is going to have an alignment of alignment dot sender, and the child of this is going to be an image dot asset whose value is going to be images slash donut dot png. And under the container, the next child is going to be a sized box whose height will be 7, and under the sized box there's going to be another widget of text which says bakery and who has a style of K black small. So we need to provide a size to our image, so the width is going to be 50 and the height is going to be 50. So in order to provide a background to our container, we are going to use a decoration of box decoration. The color is going to be a lighter version of pink, and the border radius is going to be circular of 15 on all sides, and a padding is going to be present as well. The padding is going to be symmetric, so a vertical padding of 25 and a horizontal padding of 15. So now we are going to copy our column and paste it 3 more times. So in order to change the alignment, we are going to go back into a row and change the main axis alignment to space between, and the second item is going to have an image of milk.png, and the color is going to be a lighter version of blue, and the text is going to say dairy. And the third item is going to have fish.png, lighter version of orange as the background color, and will say seafoods. And finally, the last category is going to have an icon which of fastfood.png which says snacks, and it is going to have a lighter version of red. So we have done that. We can close our inner column and go back to our first column. So before we continue, let's look at the meals class. So the meals class has a string image, a string name, and another string price, then a list of string called tags, and finally an integer rating. And in the meals list we have 2 objects of meals. So going back, the next child of our column is going to be an expanded widget which is going to have a child which is going to be a list view dot builder, and it has a property item builder which takes in 2 arguments in context and index and returns a widget. We are going to return a custom widget called meals card, and now we are going to create a new stateless widget called meals card. So meals card instead of a container is going to be a stack. So a stack is a widget which lays one widget on top of another, and the alignment is going to be alignment dot top center. And for the children, the first child is going to be a card. The card has a clip behavior which is going to have a value clip.endAlias, and then a shape which is going to be a rounded rectangular border with a border radius of 25 on all sides. And now we can add a child to this card, which is going to be a container whose width is going to be just above half of the width of the screen. So in order to get the width of the screen, we are going to use media query dot of context dot size dot width, and we can half it, then multiply it by 1.2. We are going to repeat a similar procedure for the height. This time, instead of dot width, it is going to be dot height, and we will be multiplying by 0.7. And so if we try running it, we get a simple square box. So now we are going to provide a decoration. So decoration is going to be a box decoration, which is going to take in an image of widget type decoration image, which has another property image, for which we are going to provide the asset image. So before providing the path of the image, first we need to add a new variable of our meals class called meals, and we will initialize it in the constructor. And inside our list view.builder, we are going to add the object from our meals list by using the index, and here we are going to provide our meals.image as the path. And finally we are going to use the fit as box fit.cover. So if we run it, we have it vertically. So in order to change the scroll direction, we need to provide axis.horizontal, and then the item count is going to be our meals list dot length. So if we run it again, we have it adjacent. Now the next child of our stack is going to be another card, which is going to have a value that is a clip behavior of clip.endAlias, and a shape of rounded rectangular border whose border radius is going to be circular on all sides with the value 15. And finally it is going to have another child, which is a container. This time the width of the container is going to be half the size of the screen, and similarly the height of the container is going to be size dot height, and this time it will be multiplied by 0.33. So if we try running it, we get a huge box here, larger than what we wanted. So in order to change that, we need to first change the size here. So for that, we need to half it. Let's try halving both the values. So now that's more like it. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to provide an offset from the top. For that, we are going to wrap our card with a widget called positioned, and provide it a top property to give our offset. And this time the offset is going to be media query dot of context dot size dot width by 2, and we are going to multiply it by 0.5. So let's see, it's still at the center, so let's try changing that to the height. So that's more like it. So the next thing we are going to do is we want to add a child to our container. So the child is going to be column, And before we further do on our column, we need to add some padding into our container. So we are going to give a padding on all sides of 10, and the first child is going to be a text widget which gives the name of the meals, so meals.name, and whose style is going to be k black small. So in order to change the alignment, we go back into our column and change the cross-axis alignment to start. And the next widget is going to be text, and this time we are going to provide the meals dot price, and the style is going to be text style, and the color is going to be orange, and the size is going to be 14. So let's see how that looks. And now that's done, let's close both these texts and add the next to our column. So the next is going to be a container which is going to take in the entire width, and then a height which is going to be 15, and finally we are going to give a child which is going to be a list view dot builder. And this time we will again provide the function for the item builder, and here we are going to check if the index is less than the meals dot rating, then return an icon whose icon data is going to be icons dot star, and color is going to be orange, and a size of 15. So else return the same icon but this time with a color gray, and we can give the scroll direction for the list view builder as well. So the scroll direction is going to be horizontal, and the item count is going to be 5. So if we try running it, we get a small error. That's because we haven't added the semicolon to end of our statements. So for the final tags, we are going to hide our container and add a final container. So for this we are going to first of all add a child. Before we add a child, first of all we are going to take up the entire width, and then for the height we can give it as 30, and then we can provide a child which is going to be a list view dot builder, and this time for the item builder we are going to give context index, and we are just going to return our text which says meals of dot tags of index, and inside our list view builder we are going to set the scroll direction to horizontal, and at the same time we are also going to give the item count as meals dot tags dot length. Now if we try running it, we get the text here, but we need to stylize it. So we are going to provide first of all the text with a style which is going to be text style, and a color red, and a size of 13. And now we are going to customize our container so we are going to add some padding. So the padding is going to be symmetric. We are going to give a horizontal padding of 3 and a vertical padding of 2, and we are also going to add a decoration. So the border radius taking here will be 10 on all sides, and the color is going to be a lighter shade of red. So the containers, we need to provide the declaration not here but actually outside our text. So we are going to remove that and we are going to wrap our text with a container, and it is here we will be providing the decorations with. And now we need to provide some margins. So margin, we are going to provide symmetric margin. So vertically it is going to be 2 and horizontally it is going to be 3. So that's it for our final product. So I hope you all followed up, understand what I said. So if you have any queries, do drop it in the comment section, and once again you can access the entire project through the GitHub repository. So thank you.